Welcome to Karma's Harvest. We often think that wealth can insulate us from the storms of the soul. But what happens when the very gold in your vault is forged from the tears of the broken? Balthazar Krell learned that you can buy a person's past, but you can never outrun the shadows that come with it. Balthazar sat in his sprawling, silent estate, surrounded by masterpieces he could no longer see through the haze of 1,000 strangers' grief. The dross, the concentrated misery of 3,000. Lives was no longer just a malfunction, it had become his skin. He felt the phantom hunger of 12 starving orphans, while sitting before a feast, and the crushing loneliness of 100 widows. While his servants stood at attention, his mind was a screaming theater where the play never ended. He was a billionaire in a cage of his own making, begging for a silence that money couldn't buy. Desperate and on the verge of a total neurological collapse, he received a message from an encrypted source. It was from a woman named Vespera, the daughter of a man whose glimmer Balthazar had stolen years ago to fund his empire. Vespera wasn't there for revenge, or so she claimed. She was a rogue neuroengineer who had developed a reciprocal loop, a way to shunt the memories back to their original owners. "I can purge the dross," she told him in a voice as cold as a winter morning, "but the price is everything. You must surrender the neural interface, your fortune and the very identity you built on these thefts. The system only unlocks if the debt is paid in full." Balthazar, driven mad by the constant echoes of weeping in his ears, agreed. He thought he could outsmart her. He had hidden a secondary server, a shadow cache, where he intended to keep just enough of his stolen assets to start over once the pain was gone. He believed that even in the face of cosmic justice, he could find a loophole. The small, chilling twist occurred as Vespera began the procedure. As the neural link glowed a sickly violet, Balthazar realized that Vespera hadn't come to save him. She had come to complete the circuit. The reciprocal loop wasn't a delete button, it was a mirror. The system didn't just send the memories. Back, it required a vessel to carry the emotional interest that had accrued during their time in Balthazar's head. Because he had tried to withhold his shadow cache, the system flagged him as an incomplete transaction. The big karma moment arrived with a deafening digital roar. Instead of the memories leaving his brain, they became physicalized. The neural interface fused with his nervous system, turning his physical body into a living, breathing storage unit. Vespera looked down at him, her eyes filled with a terrifyingly calm justice. "My father died in a gray fog because you took his light," she whispered. "Now you will be the light for everyone you robbed, but you will never be allowed to see it yourself." The process didn't just leave him depressed. It turned his body into a biological battery for the very slum he had exploited. His wealth was automatically drained by Vespera's virus and redistributed as emotional credits to his victims, restoring their stolen happiness. But Balthazar? He remained in his golden chair, paralyzed and immortalized by the very technology he pioneered. He became a living monument of sorrow. He cannot move, he cannot speak, and he cannot die, because the system keeps his biological functions looping to preserve the data. He is the only person in the world who can feel the collective pain of 3,000 people simultaneously, 24 hours a day, in a body that refuses to age or fail. Visitors now come to his estate, which has been turned into a public park for the poor. They walk past the glass-walled room, where the broker of tears sits, frozen in a silent scream. They feel a sense of strange, unearned peace as they look at him, because the machine is literally sucking the lingering sadness out of the atmosphere and pumping it into his brain. He has become the world's ultimate filter, a sponge for human misery, paying back his debt one agonizing second at a time. He wanted to own the world's emotions, and now the world's emotions own him. This is the end of Balthazar Krell's empire, but the harvest never truly stops. What happens when the emotional credits run out and the people demand more? And what became of Vespera, who now holds the keys to the most powerful emotional weapon ever created? We will explore the dark rise of the Memory Queen in our next series. If this story touched a chord in your soul, subscribe and join us for the next harvest. Your support ensures that these lessons aren't forgotten. Until next time, remember your memories are the only treasure. No one should be able to buy